Hello, legendary people. Welcome back. Today we're going to check out this From Clay to Code, exploring the Midnight Walk as soon as it launches. Check this out, see what this is about. Yep. Oh, didn't see all this.
The waters dried up, birds went quiet, and the dark itself seeped unchecked into the work table. The night that followed would be long.
Got a little nightmare feel to it. Nightmare Before Christmas feel to it.
Night walk.
How could this happen? Oh, the flame warms the righteous, but the wicked, the flame burns with a passion.
Yeah, it does look like Nightmare Before Christmas.
What is the dark? Is it ugly and cruel? Is it a place for fools lost in the woods?
This little flame, keep them nurtured and safe through the rain, in the dark, and over Moon Mountain.
Yeah, I didn't see this extended cut. This looks cool. Looks like a cool video.
All it needs is a little spark, and I get what I need.
The sun away.
Yeah, I like that. Out now.
PlayStation.
Pretty cool, pretty cool.
Oh my god, I have chills again just from watching it. It is such a cool project. Ugh. Anyway, I will refrain from fangirling too much at the beginning of this, but I want to go ahead and get into doing some introductions of the team that is here with us today. So to start us off, Klaus, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Klaus Lingelet. I am the founder and game director on Moonhood at Moonhood. Also want to mention that Olav Rydmalm is also one of our founders and game directors. He's not here tonight, but you'll see a bit in the video in him soon. Yeah, I've been working with games for actually 30 years now, which is kind of insane. So I started out in the 90s working on the home computers, a pixel artist, and then went on from working a bit in the US and then starting my own company 20 years back. I started a company called Zoink, which made a lot of different creative projects. And I think one of them you might know is maybe Lost and Random was one of the last ones we did with Zoink. And then that grew into an even bigger company. And then I decided like, okay, this is too big for me. And it went through like this whole IPO thing. I was in charge of 160 people and I wasn't creative anymore. So I decided, okay, I'm going to step away from this and I'm actually going to start a small creative company again.
Yeah, you
That's
don't
Lumen.
want to work somewhere where you
Yeah,
can't be
it's a very,
creative.
very short version of 30 years.
You want to
Fun.
do your own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely hard to condense
Yes.
several decades of experience into a few sentences, but
Yeah.
very excited to have you here. And thank you so much for taking the time to do so.
Thanks.
Next up, we have Matthias. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was the lead technical artist on the project, which was very interesting and a few challenges. But yeah, I've been 3D artist for almost as long as Klaus has been doing games. We actually worked together, I think 25 years ago, making an animated short film. That's when we got to know each other. So
It was
yeah,
a fun project.
yeah, and looking forward to talking more about the project.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you as well for being here. Next up, we also have Zhao. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself as well?
Yes, hello everyone. Name's Zhao. I haven't been around for as long as Matthias and Klaus, for sure.
Good for you.
Yeah, not sure if I'm looking forward to it. No, I'm kidding. But no, I'm generalist programmer for this project and also VR lead, which was quite challenging. I'm sure you know, game is hybrid, both pancake mode and VR. So
Really? I didn't know it was VR
at the same
mode.
time at some points.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
That is me.
Absolutely. so many struggles there that I definitely have a lot of questions for you about, but we'll save them for now. And then last but certainly not least, we also have Ola. Do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself as well?
Yeah, hello, my name is Ola. I'm the lead programmer and also the lead sound designer or
I'm
audio
thinking
designer
they're
on this
Swedish,
project.
maybe?
Also, I also go way back with Klaus, actually. I worked, I don't know if that was your first company, maybe? Second company,
Yeah.
UDS, back in 1996. We did games for PlayStation 1 back then. As a programmer, and then I've been working as a programmer, and also I'm a musician, very fond of audio, and then I took a break a couple of years ago from the whole game industry and programming stuff. So I had my own live sound company. So I was touring with a lot of bands as a live audio engineer and stuff like that. And then I ended up here at Moonhood.
You gotta be somewhere.
I love hearing the breadth of experience across the whole team here. This is fantastic. Again, thank you all so much for taking the time to be here today and to talk about this really unique and really fun project. I know that we did have an additional studio trailer that kind of gives a little bit of context about the studio as well, right?
Yeah, I was thinking it would be good to show, because the way we started the company was very specifically, and in the beginning of we just started out the company. I couldn't really talk about the specific, because there's a lot of secrecy around the project itself. But we wanted to share with everybody, like,
it's always fun checking out these behind the scenes when people are working on projects. Get to see how they did it and all.
Together,
so
and I thought it'd be kind of
cool.
fun to see it. It's a couple of years old now, so we look a little bit younger probably. But it's and at that time we couldn't really talk about exactly what kind of game we were doing, that we were working with PlayStation either. So you'll notice that in the video. But yeah, you should definitely run this one. It's fun to see.
Wondering if they did ZBrush or if they actually did real clay and scanned it.
Moonhood. At our previous game company Zoink, me and Olo here used to create story-driven games such as Lost and Random and Ghost Giant.
And at our new company, we want to keep doing what we're great at, but a little differently this time.
So they made maquettes and everything.
We had a lot of fun creating the art style and trying to capture the feel of a giant miniature world. But with Moonhood, we thought, why not actually create the game in real clay this time?
So here at our studio, we're not just game designers and programmers. We actually hired a team of talented sculptors and miniature
so they scanned it, they sculpted it, and then probably did 3D scans of it. Or did they animate it by hand? That's cool. Yep. That'd be fun to work on.
Working in this organic medium is sending us down a new creative path that's a lot grittier and sort of more poetic than anything we've ever done before.
There's something special about crafting tangible characters. The style and texture of clay give them their own unique appeal. I've been working with sculptures for years, wondering how to bring that special look into video games. So when I found an easy way to 3D scan these sculptures...
Yep, 3D scan.
Well,
that's what I thought they were doing.
Clay was the way to go.
Moonhood's new game is coming to console and PC, but you can also choose to play it in VR. We're happy to announce that we're partnering with our publisher Fast Travel Games to make this a reality.
You know what? We're also super excited to announce that we're partnered with on this game.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Well, they didn't say.
Next time, we'll be ready to show you what the game and the world we're building really is about. Until then, we're showing a lot of our progress on social media.
Oh, those two fools forgot the most important part. Sign up for our newsletter. Now go. Goodbye. Shoo.
Yeah, sign up for their newsletter, people. If you're watching this.
But yeah, that is such great kind of background context, of the overall project and the studio as well. But I'd also love, if you don't mind, just kind of giving an overview of what is the Midnight Walk? What is this project overall? The story behind it and those kinds of things. I'd love to just kind of dive right in.
Yeah. I think it's a really strange way the way the project started, because it was really I quit the company that I was working.
Yeah, I didn't know this was coming up today, but it looks really interesting. I watched like a couple of the trailers, but had no idea that it was all clay, and it looked more like yeah, it's got a Nightmare Before Christmas feel behind it. Tim Burton.
With, and went home and thought I was going to be just like an artist or something like that. So I started making sculptures again, which I like to do in my spare time, but I was just spending a lot of time doing that. And then I started creating all these different characters. And after a while, I, of course, realized I could scan them, and I started putting together a prototype. And I was going to actually, at some point also today, show you maybe the original prototype, which is actually in Unity. So we switched to Unreal after. So I had one specific character, which was like this little, which ended up being Potboy, which is a little character with a fire on his head. And I was like thinking about, like quite early on, I knew that we were going to do, I wanted to do a VR hybrid, and PSVR 2 was coming out, and I knew there was like the PlayStation were looking for projects that could be done in that way. So there's obviously funding from them, which was interesting too for us to get the company started.
This was handcrafted clay for all of the visuals, or a vast majority of the visuals. I imagine.
Actually, yeah. So we basically started up. It's always kind of like a rule in the way that everything that's put in the game had to be somehow created in real first. So even down to like tile textures that are on the ground, we would actually create these kind of little slabs of clay, and then we'd sort of paint them, and then we'd have some amazing digital artists who then took that after it was scanned and then turned it into a tile texture. So we use that a lot, and
that's cool.
And like even stuff like a hint note or something like that, like all the hint notes you'll see in the game, these paper hint notes, they're actually something that I painted in ink and scanned, so everything in there. Right now, I think for this game, we have over 700 models. And that's everything from, actually, I could share my screen. I could show a little bit of what we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see this right now. Here's a lot of different photos, of course, of all the different models, but it can be anything from, I think this is actually from our studio, which you saw a little bit inside the video.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. We have a problem that we don't have room for everything. So I had to buy a lot of these, adding more and more to these closets everywhere. But it can be anything from like a small brick, or to a giant house, or skill texture, or a piece of a carpet. We ended up buying these like miniature carpets too that we scanned. The idea is really that you do really feel that it's a miniature world that you're stuck inside, which is kind of part of also the horror part of it, is like it feels like freaky that you're inside a small set and stuck in there. So we do also really love that there's a lot of sort of fingerprints and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really cool
see
in
that
VR.
there's textures to it.
Moss, and Moss was really cool.
More here.
Little mouse.
Here's of course the original Boy. You'll see that's actually the
really
one of the first models we also did. So I think like I had 4 or 5 characters, and he ended up being just like that in the game. We didn't change anything. We just kept them. And he's been traveling all around the world now. He's been to San Francisco twice, actually, for a couple of pitch meetings. So he's seen a lot. And this is the Mulgrim, which is also really fun, is that this model is about, what is it? How big is it? Can it be like 20 centimeters, maybe? A little bit more than that, But in VR, she's about like 5 meters high or something like that, So it's really cool that you see like the fingerprints are like huge, and we I really still love that you can sometimes see some really fun mistakes in the game. Like you would end up seeing, pieces of glue or some kind of, here's actually a picture of some of the tile textures you can see here.
Oh, that's so
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
But there's a lot of weird mistakes that you find in there. Like I think there's a giant whale that I built, and under that one you can see still a crossword because it was built in papier-mâché, and we never painted the bottom of it. So if somebody turns the whale around, you can actually see the crossword.
After you make it.
So, yeah, and it's some of the characters that we did. I don't know if I have a picture of this one here. Yeah, this one, for example. This one, I think it took like me 2 hours to do. It was really quick. It's just like this clay that you just slop up and put directly on. And I think the way it ended up looking inside the game itself, see if I have a screenshot of that. I might have one here. Oh, my mouse is being a bit weird. There you go. So this is actually what it looks like inside the game. So you can see stuff that you think look, not so detailed, or there's not that many colors to it. Once you scan it and you get into the game and this lighting is put on, it really pops out. And I think it's one of the best characters in the game, actually one of the prettiest ones looking, because it really looks like clay and you really see that's a real model. So I think that's quite important to us, that it feels like it's real models. It shouldn't be too clean. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, of course, being as vague as possible to not give anything away of the story, I feel like all of the different characters very much fit the narrative for the segments of the game that they're included in as well. Like this one being so deconstructed feeling really works for the story that you were telling at that point too.
Yeah. And we try to almost sort of like at a meta level built in that there's somebody who crafted this world and it's part of the clay structure to it, and there's a lot of really fun layers that Ulo plays with in the story. So yeah. What else can I show here? But the other thing that
Actually,
go ahead.
I found a clay doll animation here.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Awesome.
Do you want to share your screen with that, or?
Am I not sharing my screen?
Yeah, this is cool.
I would say also the other thing
I
that was
wasn't
really
expecting to see any
there
of this today, but hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's
She's
one of
a
Kenneth's innovations, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not sure that one ended up in the game, did it?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a test. Yeah.
I also had to add that Klaus also forced us programmers to do everything by hand. So we wrote all the code on paper and then we had to scan it.
Yeah, I mean, no, it was these like print cards, a little old school programming.
Ola has been around for a while, so he was already used to it. So it taught us how to do it, and it was quite quick.
What's it called? Those cards? The cards with those little holes in, and you fill it in. I can't remember. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Kort in Swedish, whole cards.
Yeah, whole cards.
Yeah.
My wife's mom said, I was actually a programmer once. It's like she programmed that. Like, okay.
That's actually much cooler than what we do now.
Yeah. Oh, there's the whale. If you look under the whale right now, turn this one around. There you go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's such a fun Easter egg, though.
Yeah, and we don't really see it in the game, but we were playing around with it for our next game, and we were using something for it for a test, and I had it like flying through there, and I was like, "Oops, okay, I can see that now." I would say the other thing that's fun, if you switch back a little bit to my screen again, is that it's just been really fun to take other objects than just clay. I mean, not just clay, but we took like an old coffee grinder and we turned that into a house, for example. We also took, I think it was some old pots and stuff like that. Basically, I went out to all these kind of different. See if I can find that one again. Went out to different sort of like flea markets and found fun stuff that we could change. Here are actually the matchboxes that are in the game. So there's 2 different types of matches that you can pick up. So in the game, you can pick up these matches that you can light the world with, but you can also light up Fuckboy with it.
That's cool.
So we ended up I think we even have like our own language in the game. So this actually says something here on the cookie jar. So I'll let you figure that one out yourself.
Oh no. You're wrapped in this puzzle forever.
Yeah. This one is also pretty funny. We bought like some really nice ceramic sort of stuff, and then we smashed it in pieces, and then we glued it back together again, and then we painted it and stick stuff on it. So there's really a lot of fun stuff you can do with this way. So, and a lot of it is also built in cardboard. So you'll see. Like this is pretty much just cardboard, and you can do a lot of fun things with turning cardboard inside out and painting in different ways. I found these Second World War newspapers, original newspapers from the Second World War, and I feel kind of bad about it because I ripped them apart and used them to decorate pieces with. So you have like weird messages in Swedish, basically, on some of the houses about
Yeah, they are Swedish.
What happened in Ukraine.
I thought
There was problems in Ukraine there
by
at
the
that time
names,
too.
but you never know.
But different stuff, of course. So yeah, these also done in paper.
Wow.
Yeah. What
I love
else?
how many different, because I think it's easy for maybe folks to just glance at it and be like, oh, it's clay, which, not to dismiss that that's an easy thing to do in and of itself in the first place, but there's a lot of different materials and art forms that you ended up taking, all of them in actual media.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so fun. And I really encourage people to do this. It's really fun because you start with clay and you think, well, what if we put this in, and you start merging things together. This one, for example, is this is, of course, fabric here. So we found a way to dip fabric in glue and then we sort of wired around, and it was a really fun way to do it. These are the ragdolls in the game. And this one is like this is an upside down little hut, I guess. I found it from Plata. So it's done in metal in a way. And here's some matches on its back and a leather band. And then we scanned that all together, So there's a lot of, there's so many things to explore, and we're still exploring that, because that's how we're going to continue with Moonhood. Moonhood is really, we are, the art man or the studio like a video game. So at least that we aspire to be that, So
they're going to be making
we're
games
going to continue
like
making
Tim Burton
games this
makes
way.
animated movies. That's cool.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that.
Here's also another one. There's actually a little kid, little flat out on top of its head. This character is actually not in the game, unfortunately. And here's one. I think you'll see this one in the game.
Camera.
It's actually original camera from the 1920s that we took, scanned it, and put legs on. This is not the final version, I think. There's actually a bit more details to it.
This is actually very creative.
These are little characters that walk around
creative,
and project stuff inside the game. Yeah.
God, I love this. I also love, obviously, from playing it, seeing the scale of these and how they might differ, because I'd love to know a little bit more about how you experimented with that, because I'm sure this character in, its actual modeled version that you made is very different in the scale of the world that you ultimately put it in. And how do you make those kinds of decisions?
I think the idea was really that it's kind of felt after a while that we set like a size to the world that's depending on, like, if we took in a book in the world, we would scale it up. So it felt like it really should feel like you're about 20 centimeters high in the game, like it should feel like you're a miniature person inside this world. So everything had to, every real objects that I put in the game, like, objects that we recognize, like we had some like the coffee grinder or this kettle house. We also have like some huge old-fashioned typewriters. If we put those in there, then we scale them up. And that's also, again, to give a feel that the world is really a miniature world and you're stuck inside this miniature set in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it does feel that way. I feel
that's what I did for my Fortnite.
It's consistent with my experience for playing it. Definitely feeling like that sense of scale. Kind of, was that intentional, of trying to make the player feel
small?
Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah, I think it adds to the horror of it. Like I said before, it really does feel. I'm obviously a big fan of like stop motion movies and sort of things like that, and I think a little bit inspired, of course, by the movie called Mad God. If you ever see that one, if people want to see something really freaky, check that out. It's a stop motion movie that he's called Phil Tippett, I think is the guy's name is, who worked on it for like 30 years or something like that. It's a crazy thing. But it has that feel to it where it's the stop motion part, I think, can feel very eerie and weird. And if you feel like you're small inside a stop motion set, then it's even scarier. There's a giant in the game also, so we thought, like, why not just build it as a giant model? So we built it almost like a human size here.
That's the one you scared your kids with, right?
Yeah. I actually had it in my basement for a while. And everybody had to go down to the bathroom. They're like, this weird thing standing there.
Messed up.
The other thing that was kind of cool about having them in real size like this is that we could we did some puppet stuff with them too. So this one could actually be puppeteered. So we puppeteered them, recorded that, and Olaf edited together these like little sort of short stories that are then projected up on buildings inside the game. So it was a really fun way. Since we have the real models, we could actually record the real models and use them that way. So we had I think it was me and Victor Becker, who is the art director. We had to put on like these black jumpsuits and run around and puppeteer them at the same time as all of us
They had a lot of fun.
I'm not sure I have some.
I need to get on a project like that
Not.
just for
Don't have
something
a
to do.
picture of you in a black jumpsuit. I want to see it.
I'm sick for too long. Just got my knees replaced a couple of years ago. I think my right knee was last year, so trying to get back into it. Trying to feel better.
Sure. Actually, that's actually a shot from the video itself. So you can see here.
Excited for stuff like this.
And somewhere behind here, I'm lurking around in a black jumpsuit. Yeah, that was really fun, and it was a cool way to be able to use it. I think.
Well, if you're watching this video, I hope you like my content. Please like and subscribe.
Which is like an iPhone.
I'm gonna try to edit this video so it's not so long.
Characters, and that was obviously
the cool
one
stuff
of the
I'm
first
gonna keep
things
in.
to really figure out. Could this hold? Does it work well once we put it in? Does it look okay? And this is here you can see what the scan actually looks like. So this is me running Polycam directly in the web browser. So this is the original scan of Hotboy. So you can see it comes out really well. I think
the details.
I think we talked a lot about that, Matthias, about what happens, and you develop some really cool materials because once you get too close to it, it does start falling apart, the texture.
Yeah, I mean, and also with the scans, when you do photogrammetry, you get really nice textures, but the high-res mesh is not super crisp. So we
that's cool.
Actually ended up using the base color for pretty much all. We had one like a quarter resolution normal that was the baked from the high-res to the game res, but then we did a Lumen normal from the just Lumen. Of the base color to get the kind of high frequency detail, and then we also set up a kind of detail map structure with a packed map that contained like a tiling normal and a roughness variation and a color variation.
That's a lot of polys.
That we could use to kind of map out color variations, and I actually have a example on my screen here.
And I would say that also, I know that a lot of people, there's ways to scan this better. There's like if you lose, we're just using an iPhone, but the thing about it is like once you use like a real camera, once you set up on a different computer and you have your own program, suddenly we're a small company, we're a small team, so we had a lot of models. So for us, it was really about finding a way to do it quick, So I think we found a good balance there. We are experimenting with some other scanning programs right now, but it does take a lot more time. And once it starts to take a lot of time to scan it, then you end up time is money. We can't really afford it. We thought, oh, let's do it this way. It goes quick, and we get what we need for the game.
Yeah, but we also save a lot of money since you're using cardboard. That's not very expensive.
That's true. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I make my own glue also, So.
Oh, very, very crafty. Oh my gosh. Well, this is insane, being able to directly see how it goes from the real live models that you made and scanned in. And I'm also very curious about that process of getting it from the traditional form that it's in into a game, because obviously we've seen things like stop motion films and things like that, which are very time consuming and difficult to do, and then translating those same concepts to a full 3D space that can be explored from all different kinds of angles and stuff.
All the things that have to move, you have to.
A huge task. Very curious about that whole process.
Yeah,
polys so you can animate it.
Actually, we like same process there. Since we had lots of models and a small team, we had to make it quick. And the fastest way, I mean, a lot of times it only took 20 minutes from the scan came back from Polycam until we had it in the game ready for, you know, level artist. And we did like mostly it was the low res and UV we created in ZBrush is using like zero measure and sometimes decimation master. But zero measure when I use that and also reproject back to the to get the contours and then UV master because zero measure does quads and UV master likes that. So that's in my opinion still the best way to get the non-stretchy textures. And so and simple asset, it's just a few clicks. And of course, like the only automation there was like setting up a UI, like load, save, and do the stuff. And then I set up a tool in Houdini that could kind of bake the high-res, like read the high-res textures and kind of write them to the game res UV set. And so I had little like tool in Houdini to do, plug in the low res and the high res and click the buttons and then you're done. And then we used like the base color because the base color was the best, the kind of albedo map was the best source of detail. So if you kind of look at the highlights here on the side, if it shows, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit.
Yeah, because in my opinion, I mean, one of the things that really separate nice textures from bad or materials is that you have this kind of roughness variation, in my opinion. And since we had the most detail in the base color, we used that to I just used a kind of remap node. Some people had a lot of problem with my I'm really bad naming parameters, but they do work. So kind of just kind of finding the range of the base color that holds the most detail, and then mapping that out to your like desired roughness values. And same for like specular, to get it like really crisp to kill the speck in the matte areas. So. And yeah, I mean, so I don't know what to say more about that. I mean, of course, some models are more complicated. I mean, like this one will not auto UV in any way, like easily. So some models, of course, took a few hours or even days because you had to like kind of separate them, group them up, and do whatever.
Yeah, that would take a lot for something
I really like
that.
ZBrush, and the other artists also use ZBrush confidently. So a lot of ZBrush, some Houdini. I mean, as we talked about fire before, we also did like we simulated did real like fluid simulations.
Sweet.
And baked them out to vertex animation textures that we then kind of looped in the blueprint and had different starts and endings and what we needed. But we had like lots of challenges with the fire because different size of fire looked different. So, and I have to like, at least in 5.3, ribbons in Niagara are really slow. I have to say. So we actually ended up using skeletal meshes. The initial concept of the kind of match flame was a ribbon, but it's way too slow. So we ended up using a skeletal mesh and a control rig on top of it to get the kind of physical feeling to it.
Yeah, that's another thing. I got mess with control rigs.
We had this kind of bigger fire, but we also had a small flame of the candles, of course, and then Potboy's fire. So there's a lot of different types of fires that you had to work out. Of course. Yeah. But I mean, and of course the matches, the fire itself from that, how it was reacting. I thought you did an amazing job on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I really like control rig. I was at Unreal Fest and I went to all the control rig talks. But yeah, I mean, control rig is really good, and I have a lot of fun with it. I think even if you don't mind, I can play the crawler procedural.
Yes.
because I really like it.
So we don't forget about that, but I do also want to talk about the materials a little bit later, but we can talk about that after.
Materials.
That was pretty
cool.
interesting. Yeah.
Very cool.
This is insane.
It's actually a fully 3D, so it can walk upside down and crawl corners. I don't have the final version of the game. Actually, this one is from like 5 months before.
That's still cool,
but it's still pretty good, and it's kind of crazy. But like we mentioned before, we didn't have time to create a 3D nav mesh. But Jao set up a really nice controller that could do this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the whole goal for this controller was to have it actually recorded. And we do have that tool made and everything, but was to record the movement of the crawler for cutscenes, and we could just record it in real time, kind of like how Matthias is doing it here in third person. But he never made it to the game.
I still think the control rig, the way it is in the game right now, it really helps a lot. Just when so these are the characters that usually chases you around the sort of more scarier parts of it, kind of like a more generic enemy. But like the first time you meet them, you can really see how they're putting their feet the right way and they're crawling over the little rocks and pieces on the ground. There's no really cutting through or clipping with the feet itself, and that's obviously quite hard when you have a four-legged creature like that, you know. So
or like not a capsule as well. I mean, that's why we went with a full custom controller there as well, because not making a capsule or making something move that's not a capsule is just incredibly hard immediately.
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of tools for bipeds, you know. But as soon as you go higher than bipeds, you have to make your own.
Yeah. I mean, 4 legs.
Yeah, most of the time they use capsules, which basically means there's a capsule and then there's an animation just walking in place, and then the capsule moves. So that's how you control the character. Move left, right, up, down, or forwards and backwards, and then you can jump. And it's all just animations. So if you're new to Unreal or how they do games, that's basically mainly what they do is they use a capsule, and then the character's basically animated in place for walking, and then when you push forward, the faster the character moves, it switches from walking to running or jogging or whatever, and then the slower you move it, it goes back to the walking animation, and then when you're not moving, it just does an idle animation. So, alright, let's check this out.
Then on top of that, the tail appendage too, that is very flicky. I can't think of the right word for it, but there's a lot of movement in there. It's very flexible and unnerving. Honestly.
Actually, this one is a bit old, so it does some clipping. We solved some issues with that later, but I mean, we tried the control, physics control, but we also had to back down from that, unfortunately, to have some, have it react to collisions and stuff, other stuff. But I mean, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of testings, different methods and stuff with this.
Yeah.
Actually, the first one I did completely in control rig, but then for various reasons, like at that time I couldn't write custom attributes to control rig, so to get the proper foot plant timing and positions, we later had to do all the traces and that stuff in the blueprint or in the character blueprint and pass that into the control rig. But you can actually make a complete. I think now you can write custom attributes from control rig, and you can do the whole thing in control rig, which is nice. But this one became a hybrid. But we also piped in actually. One thing I really like about control rig is that you can it can accept animations or that you can really have. Let's see if I have it. Animation blueprint.
There you go.
I don't have version control, so it's complaining all the time. So yeah, animation graph. Let me see. Yeah, so here we have like a regular state machine.
Sweet.
Doing all its stuff, and then we pipe that into the control rig. So it's actually getting animation, because we found that it became a really nice mix of the kind of hand animated stuff. That's just like so I'm just increasing the speed of the walk animation, but it's not kind of using the foot placement of that. That's done by the control rig, but that gives kind of a creepy feel to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I mean, here it is.
Very cool. I like this.
It's not. I can't play with now, unfortunately, like doing this stuff because it's locked into gameplay mode. But I mean, developing this one was really fun, and I think the biggest challenge was interpolating the up vector all the time and having because it's reacting to the placement of the feet, but you can't make the cycle too fast. You have to kind of have some resistance in it to not make it like flick around all the time. But that was fun. Yeah.
Matthias is a really good animator too, so you know how
Thank
to
you,
do
Klaus.
this. Yeah.
No, I want to be. I'm just too lazy to keyframe now. I only do it when I have to. So when it's easier, like sometimes when people do a physics simulation of a coin or something, I just no, just keyframe it.
Yeah. Do you have I was thinking of that because we did the same for Housey. The house that we watched around.
Housey.
And Darkhead as well, right?
If not, I have actually an old video of that too.
Yeah, I could try like an unprepared thing here.
See if you can pull that. If not, I can show the one I have.
Yeah.
Such a daredevil, Matthias.
Yeah.
It's hard to find
Can't
stuff
be
on the
afraid to
fly.
fail. Housey.
I hope it blows up.
Yep.
Very brave of you.
Yeah, and
So
we have to set it in record mode.
It's kind of like you find this house on the way, and it starts following you, and it becomes sort of like your home. It goes along with you on your trip down the midnight walk. So it's like our version of I don't know.
I think this one has a stretchy legs issue.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
I have a video here. Hold on,
I love
always
that.
trying to find something on the fly. It never
It
works.
sounds so good, but
If you
I have an
switch
issue
to
with the legs here. Like
if
this
you
was 5 months before release, so it's
I don't know how old this one. I have a version that I got a video
yeah.
that I
Show
can
Klaus version instead.
I did like that version too, though, just to make sure that we're all clear here.
I just love the way Housey looks so like it's like really carefully walking, like it's really scared.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really fun to do the adaptation because I made the crawler first, and it's kind of aggressive and all this, and Housey was a lot more like cautious, and also it's standing like with almost stretched legs in the kind of default position, so it can only take like tiny steps.
Did you remember you actually have a part in the game where it stretches even more, so it sort of it lifts itself over the there's a wall in the beginning of the game where it's sort of
That's cool how
moves
like
up,
each one of the
goes
feet
down
are
again.
like hitting everything.
Yeah.
Looks like one of those robots, the dog
really cute.
robots
I mean, it's
walking
so
over
cool to see
like
how
rocks
just
and stuff.
with a really rough
cool.
ground like that, how it attaches to each little piece of the environment.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Very cute.
We had to do complex traces, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, that's cool.
I do
like
love that each character feels like its own character. The animations are so unique per creature that it really helps sell their personality, right alongside how unique each of their own designs are as well. And I'm curious was all of the animation done just like afterwards, or did you actually move around the models to try and figure out, well, how does it feel for this character to move? Or was that something that you figured out purely in the 3D space later?
Probably 3D space later.
I'm not sure I totally understand, but I mean, these are the two. I think these are the only two characters we did procedural animation, isn't it? There's no, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's only these two.
I mean, we did the stuff mostly. I mean, the source animation was I think Lucas did the kind of walking stuff, and Alan did the crawler base, but that's traditional keyframe animation. So we didn't do any like stop motion. The characters, except for the big one, the puppeteer thing, they're all kind of static, you know, the models. So we had to like do the regular stuff and put bones in them to move them.
Yeah. So it's pretty much scanned,
in Houdini,
of course, and retopolized and all that stuff.
Actually, they probably rigged them in Unreal now.
Rigged as a normal character. So none of it is. Yeah, if that's what you meant, none of it is like it's actually stop motion. You know.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah.
Inside house, yeah.
Yeah, that's inside house. I was thinking of that when you showed house. So this is inside your house if you go in there. So that's cool.
This is awesome. I'm curious because
there's
a lot of
goes to other
unique
VR headsets
creatures
because I
in the
don't have
game,
a
right?
PlayStation 5.
I'm curious which one was maybe the most difficult to finalize.
I think we just looked at it. I think it's the crawler.
Yeah.
One Matthias had that was really
code-wise crawler for sure.
Yeah. I think the I forgot the name that we use. The grinners. So it's so funny when you develop a game because you throw something into the game and then you give it a first name, which was Dark Heads, I think it was. Not so really well because they're quite often going around in tight spaces.
Yeah, I can play it.
Yeah, cool. Let's have a look. Oh, nice. Yeah. So.
Oh, this is so cool.
So what happens when they're in tight spaces with there's a lot of walls? That they put like
I'm glad I got to see this.
The walls, and it looks really nice because
you're in the right place at right time. I didn't know this was coming out today.
It's kind of like 3 meters higher or something like that, you know. So
always love watching stuff like this.
And what they can do is they can sort of open up their face and behind the mask. This
Corpse Bride, all those.
I should get a button for that.
Yes, you should. Yeah, I can show it here.
Let's see if I have the animation.
They look pretty freaky.
They do. I'm curious. Did the clay model have the inside of it too? And then
yeah. I think if you zoom in on the side, actually, you'll see that there's a little hinge on it. So I got like real hinges on it. So and the clay model can open up and close like that.
Very.
I don't know. I'm not sure it's in the scan. Yeah, let's show when they open their faces first.
Yeah, let's see if we can find it.
Yeah.
Arcade open, idle. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love the way he moved the eyes. They're really wobbly.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
Hello.
And the sound
deeply unsettling, which is a high compliment, I'm sure.
Actually, if you zoom in inside there, you can see there's actually real hinges. There's metal hinges.
Yeah,
but that's scanned too.
Yeah, this one works in the physical version actually works.
Yeah, exactly
opens and closes.
Yeah. Very cool.
That's so cool. Horrifying too. Like, let's be clear.
Move it from the screen, Matthias. It's enough. It's horrifying.
I started looking at the detail map here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because one of the things I was really nervous about when we started the project was that because of course every time you scan a model, I mean in Lost and Random, the previous game we did, we had like
needs to brush some teeth.
Texture. What's it called? Texture.
There's a lot of detail.
What's it called? Like basically when you have like little sets of textures that you can tile everywhere and use on different objects, you know.
Yeah, like tiling textures.
Yeah, but more like you make a specific sort of set that you can use for different places, not just tiling.
Atlas.
Yeah,
trim
Atlas.
sheets.
Yeah, and trim sheets. Yeah, exactly. And this one, really, every object has individual textures that are just like unwrapped, and it was a big thing. Like how can it run with all those textures? It's going to be a problem, and so on. And but because we're running on a PS5 mainly, and of course on high-end PCs, it just streamed it right off, and then quickly we found out it worked okay. I would say.
Don't forget, I reduced like 15 gigs of textures in the last month.
I don't want to hear about that.
Or 25 maybe even.
Yeah.
But we went over all the textures also because they were all like coming in 8K, 4K, and 2K. So depending on the quality of the scan, so there's no control for it really.
Actual physics. These made it mostly to the game. So the hands are fully physical. You can actually grab things, throw them around.
Nice.
You can grab the matchlock and shoot, and that's fully physical based as well. Or these hint notes that Klaus mentioned earlier. Like these actually, I love the feel of grabbing these, to be honest, because you can actually see all the details when you grab them and look around, and it feels like you're holding a piece of paper.
And then you just throw it.
You just throw it. Sorry, I hate it actually.
It goes automatically to the inventory anyway. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, but the hybrid version that we went to, it's what you usually do in a VR game, having preset sockets on objects, which we just set up in Blueprint basically. So we put sockets for every object.
But there's a lot of work that was put into making both when you think about it.
Yeah. And again, some of the physics as well for doors and hatches and drawers and all types of things.
I do have to say I really did enjoy how interactable the world was. It didn't feel like there were really any parts of the game where you couldn't interact with something around you at any given point in time.
I think, if it had been a VR game,
a lot of
probably
coding.
focused a lot.
Very cool.
VR game would have probably focused a lot more on sort of like closer sort of puzzles that are just with your hands and so on. But because you can't really do that on flat, we had to sort of cut down a little bit back on that. That's of course a challenge when you do both, and the game has to work the same way, you know.
Exactly. Actually, I have some more dead features here.
Go.
We also had some. I initially had some ideas for being able to send Potboy using actual gestures.
Oh yeah, I remember
we made this whole. Hey, you ready? You forgot about this. A lot of work was put into this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But in my original pitch, there was actually you could talk to him even. We wanted to.
I remember.
Actually, be able to talk to him.
Scream at him.
Yeah, go. It was like. That's why if you Potboy, when he lights up a fire, he says "foo," and that was supposed to be what you were supposed to tell him. It was supposed to be his language, basically. You tell him to do.
That's so cool.
That reminds me also, we actually did try with the voice commands also. We
tried a few versions of this, I think.
Yeah.
I think this was the first one, was actually using the VR controller. So I made this tool so you can kind of train a model how that gesture is supposed to look like. Here, I'm just trying it out with a simple circle. And you train the model, you save these positions, and then, oops, let me see if I can get there. I think here I'm just controlling a cube movement just by swiping it left and right, using these gestures.
Cool. Nice.
The force is strong.
Yeah. And here it is, the final this final prototype, actually gesturing Potboy to do things. I think in this case, it's just the go and the kind of return. I think the main issue with the system was that it was gated, and I was really struggling to make it kind of like dynamically detect a gesture at any time. So basically, in this version, you actually need to press a button to start identifying the gesture, and then you finish it, and that sends it in to compare it with all the gestures that are saved.
A lot of work, though.
So it's like, one more kind of haptics thing you have to go through, and which one are we using there? And of course, it was a PlayStation, mostly PlayStation game in a way, so we really wanted to support all of that.
Yeah.
Regarding VR too, I just came to think about the end scene, like after the finish, when the giant walks away with his daughter and all this. Like for a long time, if you followed him and looked around, actually walked away, and then animation ended and went into T-pose. It was like,
I mean, that's another thing. You can hide things with smoke and mirrors as easily. Like you can just see everything still.
like in a flat screen animation, which because sometimes they were done on the computer screen, of course, and nobody really looked at it in VR, and you realize that just like, okay, I just took the models, I scaled them down, I put them here for that camera angle. But then when you look at it in VR, you see it's not the right size scale because your eyes can see the size scale is off suddenly, which you don't really see on the flat screen, So you can sort of fake it in flat, but it comes out as weird in VR.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's a
Yeah,
good point.
there was a bunch of scaling issues when we
Okay, well, I'm gonna cut this video here. It just seems like they're talking about some more technical stuff, but got a good look at this game. Didn't know it was VR. Didn't know it was. I knew it was like a regular game on the PlayStation, but yeah, made of clay. Looks really cool. Like I said, it looks like a Nightmare Before Christmas stop motion. Really cool. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a good weekend. We will see you in the next video, and you take it easy.